I want to talk to you about the Waylens 360 4G dash camera that I purchased from my BMW. I had the camera for about 3 months now. I want to share my feedback and my experience with the camera in case you are in the market to purchase one yourself. I had the camera professionally installed. When I start the car, it will tell me if the camera detected anything since the last time I drove. Take a listen.
New events detected while parked.
Here's another look at the camera, and now let's go for a ride. As I mentioned earlier, this is the Waylens 360 4G dash camera, and I'll get into my thoughts about the 4G in a minute. But as you can see, this is a true 360-degree view. The quality is okay. It's nothing special. Truth is, you cannot see anyone's license plate, so if there is a hit and run, you have a make and model of the car, but not the plate. Although it cannot be seen right now, but because this is a 360-degree camera and because it's mounted right near the windshield, the sun can cause a pretty bad reflection. It's still okay, but a typical dash camera will not have the glare. In my personal opinion, Waylens 360 4G dash camera is not really a dash camera. It's a security system that just happens to record on the dash. Before you commit to buying this camera, you should ask yourself, am I in the market for a dash camera or am I in the market for a security camera? Typical dash camera provides about 120 to 135 degree view. So if you get front and back, you're between 240 and 270 degrees. That's great for the road, but what if someone thinks your car in the parking lot when they open the door? Situations like these, Waylens will be able to capture the incident, but a regular dash camera will not. Overall, I'm happy with my purchase, but I realized I purchased a security system, not a dash camera. I still plan on purchasing a dash camera and having it installed. I'm thinking about ThinkWare Q800. But there's a lot more to this video. I want to show you the interface of this application and tell you my thoughts about the 4G. So let's get into that. Each Waylens 360 camera has its own hotspot. When you turn on the car, the network will become available and then you can open the Secure 360 app. You can drill down and see the live 360-degree view from the car. There is some lag in this video as I am using WebEx to record the activities on my phone. You can further drill down into a single view mode where you have the option to view every angle of the car from the camera. I have a 128GB SD card, a higher end one, and I have almost 20 days worth of recordings. You can have as much as a 256GB of memory. When you view the video from the phone, there is lag, and couple that with lag from WebEx, so there is some latency. I assure you this part of the application works pretty smoothly. Here's a recording from about 2 days ago. This is the drill down single view mode. Now let's look at the rest of the application, shall we? You can see there's a history of all the files it recorded. The recording starts anytime I start the car, and then it ends anytime I stop the car and lock it. It will also go into a recording mode anytime it's parked, if it detects any motion or anything like that, which we'll go over. These settings control how responsive the camera should be. The settings are divided into two parts. There are driving settings and parking settings. I've never messed with the driving settings. You can see if it detects any impact, it will automatically upload it to the cloud. The parking settings are a bit different. Had to adjust the sensitivity down a lot. You can get it to the point where if the tree moves, if the wind blows, it will detect motion and send you an alert. And I really don't want to do that. It could really impact your battery, whatnot. So I have it set the way it is right now. It still sends me alerts anytime somebody drives by with a loud exhaust or somebody's mowing the lawn and walks by it. But it's still not bad. It doesn't drain my battery, to my knowledge, so it worked out well so far. But you can see the settings are definitely adjustable. How 4G works is you sign up for a data plan. It's $10 a gig, pretty much flat rate, but you have to sign up for at least 3 months and pay for the 3 months upfront. The data does not roll over, use it or lose it. Um, Truth is, the 4G in this camera sucks. I mean, it is just bad. If I had to do it all over again, I would get the non 4G version of the camera. I like the camera, but the 4G is just terrible. As you can see, they push out new firmware, which I need to download and update. I haven't done that yet, but I'll do that. Here are just some other settings, like you can control notifications and sensitivity and stuff like that. Never tried the siren, although kind of curious to know what it is. As I mentioned earlier, I have a 128 gigabyte SD card. Whenever I run out of storage, it will just keep recording over it. But any events such as like the alerts it sends me, anything loads to cloud, there's a certain dedicated storage for it. Everything else kind of goes on the rollover. The 4G on this camera is just garbage. I don't know. It's not fair to market this camera as 4G when 96% of the time it doesn't work. The only time it works is maybe I stop my car and I get out. I walk maybe 200 feet. It could still work, but other than that, it just does not work. This was me sitting in the car trying to establish a 4G connection while in the car, nothing. It will still not work regardless of anywhere I'm at. If I had to do this all over again, like I said, I will not buy this version of the camera. I would buy this camera that's $100 cheaper, that is non 4G. And everything I just showed you here will still work, except you're paying less for the camera, you're not paying for the data plan, but everything else stays the same. Never once have 4G actually worked for me steadily. Couple times I got a connection, but I think 1 month I ended up having you get 1,024 megabytes. That's 1 gig. I think I finished the month with 900 megabytes left. That's how little of the data I use because that's how little it works. It is a pain. I wanted to do a 360 walk around to show you that the camera, how it really looks if somebody does walk by your car and whatnot. This is a true 360-degree camera. As soon as I left one frame, I'm in the next. I'm doing a full walk around, and you can see that at every instance, at every step, I am visible. Now, obviously from the back, it's kind of hard to see because it's mounted all the way in the front, but the sides, this is pretty good area. You can see that I'm always in the view, regardless what happens. And this is what I mean when I say this is a security camera more than it is a dash camera. So at the end, I was in the market for a security camera, and that's why I got the Waylens 364G. And if I had to do it all over again, I would get the non 4G version because the 4G has a lot to go before it becomes good. Lastly, I wanted to show you the invoice. I paid $480 out the door. This includes camera, parts, labor, and tax. I had it done at Auto Sound Security and Accessories in Willoughby, Ohio. Shout out to those guys, they did a phenomenal job. In case anyone is wondering, they did a direct wire. I highly recommend them. If I had to do this all over again, I'd get the non 4G version of this camera. I hope this video helps someone to make a decision about purchasing this camera for their car. Thank you for watching.